Okay, so today I'm in Iowa at a winery. There are some of the vines behind me, and I'm standing behind this little building because of the wind. Um, what we have in Second Samuel is we have Nathan coming up with a story to catch. Well, you might say the play's the thing wherein to catch the conscience of the king, as Hamlet says. In Hamlet, Hamlet does something similar. He is trying to find out if his uncle really is guilty of murder, and so he has the players stage a little murder story to see what his uncle's reaction will be. In this case, David is quite comfortable condemning the action of the man who steals the ewe lamb from his neighbor. In a minute, when we get to tomorrow, we see how Nathan brings this home. Nathan has told the story. David is indignant at this fictionalized account, thinking it's real. And Nathan turns and says, "You are that man. You are the man that you are criticizing yourself. You're criticizing the man with the sheep. You've done something far worse than this." And then he tells him what the Lord thinks of this. But notice the use of a kind of parable. It's easier for us to criticize the speck in our neighbor's eye than the mote in our own, and that's part of what's happening here. I think it's also another reason why Jesus uses parables. Now, the parable in the gospel today is very difficult, and I don't know quite what to say about it. It's probably the most difficult parable that Jesus tells. We can talk about it in class. Note in Jeremiah, if you're confused, the Lord is telling Jeremiah that the people of Israel will suffer an invasion from the north. This is Babylon. That the Lord is going to bring destruction on the people who live in Judah, the people in Jerusalem and thereabout, the Jews of the southern kingdom, because of their continued idolatry and their evil behavior. And so we have these visions of impending doom and woe that Jeremiah keeps speaking, and that, of course, they're not going to want to hear. We're beginning First John, the first epistle of St. John, and notice John's a little strange in that he's very different from the Paul and Peter and their epistles. He's speaking almost mystically at times. So we'll talk about that too. But imagine the courage of Nathan, the prophet of King David, to take David's sin and to put it into fictionalized format, and then to turn the tables on him, as he will do when we read tomorrow. David is, in fact, legitimately angry at the injustice committed by this man who stole the poor man's little ewe sheep, and he doesn't recognize that he's done something far worse. That's human nature. We are often blind to our own sins and self-deception, though we clearly see it in others. And that's, as I say, part of what art does. It helps us see more clearly our own selves, as well as reality, by giving us the distance from it and the frame so that we can envision it whole.